We have a very special guest in studio today. He is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, a Judo black belt, the great and powerful Coty Kellison.
Yeah,
welcome to the show.
Welcome, sir.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm psyched.
Yeah, dude, I'm happy to get in here and actually get to talk to you because I mean we've met a couple times, but I never really actually got to actually talk to you a little bit. So
Yeah, man. I think
Appreciate
it's
you.
all been like the CX BJJ stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every couple while.
I'll see you every once in a while. I'll see you at tournaments and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just happy to finally get in here and really get to talk to you. So
Likewise, man.
yeah, but you've built your life around the mat
Mhm.
as a fighter, a father, a man. But if we stripped all that stuff away, what is Coty Kellison without jiu-jitsu?
Ooh, that's a shitty question.
Just getting right off
Homeless?
it.
No, man. I like, I'm a very purpose-driven person. So even the days I don't train, I like to have like, hey, this is what I'm doing today.
Mhm.
These are my goals today. I'm a big, I call it minimal planning, like things I want to do throughout the day. I'm like, hey, I have to do this. And then I kind of just, as I wake up, like, okay, I start knocking out checklist. Okay, boom, 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 boom. And so like without jiu-jitsu, I think I would still do that. But like, it's the only thing I'm good at. So it'd be like, I go to like the gas station and work my 9 to 5. But other than that, man, it's a lot of that. I try to give myself a little bit of time throughout the week to do leisure activities. Like I have to have a day where I don't do jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? Like,
What do you do those days?
I'm a huge fucking nerd.
Okay.
So play Magic the Gathering, play
Okay.
Dungeons and Dragons, play video games, shit like that.
Cool.
People make fun of me for that stuff, but
Yeah.
it's
Hey,
a good
that's what
time.
you like,
Everybody's
man.
got their own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So where did it all start with you with getting into grappling sports?
So I've always been, as a kid, I think a lot of people have the same sentiment. Like growing up watching like Ninja Turtles, fucking Power Rangers, shit
Yeah,
like
dude.
that. That's how I started. And I
too.
love that. Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, which is weird that this is the second time Jean-Claude Van Damme's been brought up today
Really?
in my life. Yeah. Some guy at the gym was doing the splits today. And I was like, I bet 3 of your top 5 movies are Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. But like just growing up around martial arts, and then my mom was very little into martial arts, but still around it. And then my uncle, who's like essentially my father figure, his name's Louis. He grew up kickboxing, and then when he went away to live with his older brother in DC. He did a little bit submission grappling, and he came back, and like he was always kind of like my father figure throughout my whole life. And so he kind of got me doing kickboxing and Muay Thai when I was a little kid. And then as I got older, he was showing me submission grappling and stuff like that. And then as most people in the 90s, early 2000s were, when I was like a young teenager, I got into a lot of trouble. And I met my judo coach. His name is Randy Rhodes. He did this juvenile program where you could do like judo with part of your probation sentence as a youth,
Okay.
and you didn't have to do community service. And so I did that.
That's a sweet deal.
It was. And he did it as kind of like his, he was the head of the juvenile program.
Unless you're the oogie, and then you're just getting thrown around the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, give me that community service.
Yeah. You just get beat
Toss
up.
your ass.
He's gonna-
Yeah.
Throw your ass all over the
You
place.
don't got to pick up trash, but I'm going to pick you up and throw you like trash.
And so his program was incredible. And he wrote his PhD on it. His PhD was like criminal justice and youth development, stuff like that. And he had a 0% recidivism rate for the kids that went through his program. And so
Oh, wow.
that's where I kind of came up. And his whole philosophy behind that is, when you're on the mat, you have to take care of each other. And that's something you can instill in troubled youth. And like, that was the whole thesis of it. And it fucking worked out. And like, that's essentially where from there,
And how old were you? When this?
14, 15.
Okay.
Yeah. 14. I was a freshman. Yeah. So 14. And that's when I started judo. Yep. And
That's
then
awesome.
From there, it just kind of skyrocketed.
Skyrocketed.
Mhm.
And so you just did judo for a few years. When did you start, doing jiu-jitsu?
So I did, I had a couple MMA fights towards my senior year in high school.
Oh, cool.
So I was training with a guy named Donnie Davis, who is kind of like an old school MMA guy, old wrestler guy. He had an MMA gym down like south of me in this little town.
And where'd you grow up?
Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
Okay.
Yep. And so he had his gym for a while, and I was training there while doing judo at the same time, and they closed. Just because like an MMA gym in a small town, it's not really going to pay the bills. And so after that, Brian Imholes came down, who I got my black belt from, and he started Gracie Humaida, Southeast Missouri, and that's where I started jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of always been doing it.
Yeah. So you've been doing it for how long now?
All combined, probably 28 years.
It's incredible.
Wow.
Yeah, all martial arts combined. Yeah. Grappling specifically since I was 14. So I'm 36 now.
Damn, dude, that's crazy.
Man.
So you did have a couple MMA fights?
Yeah.
Wow.
I had 2 sanctioned ones.
Yeah.
Two more like, hey, we need a guy to jump in.
How'd those go?
I was 4-0.
Okay.
Hey.
There you go.
4-0,
There he
yeah.
is. Retired undefeated.
Yes. Yes. What really happened is I had a kid. So
Okay.
I was like,
Okay.
oh, I'm going to start working. And that's when I started like DJing and stuff like that and kind of got away from the MMA side of stuff.
Got it.
Yep.
Yeah. Makes sense.
How old is our daughter, son? Son, how old is he?
Fuck, he just turned 18.
Oh,
Dude,
wow.
wild.
July 4th turned 18.
Wow.
Whoa.
Okay.
It's
4th of
crazy.
July birthday, huh?
Yeah.
That's cool.
He's on a cruise right now, so he's having a good time.
Good for him.
That's
awesome.
what I said.
That's awesome. man.
Is he in grappling as well? Does he?
He did it for a little bit. I really, like I am such a big personality, like locally in jiu-jitsu, that like he gets recognized a lot.
Mhm.
A lot. He comes up to St. Louis, people see him, because he looks just like me. And then around town, of course, he gets seen. And so like I never really pushed him into it, because if he wants to do it, I'd rather have him love it like I did.
Mhm.
And so he did it for a couple of years when he was little, and then towards a couple of years ago, he did it for another year. And then I think he got beat up by a chick, and he was like, that's not for me.
Yeah. Dude, that was like my
If
first,
anything, that make me. You know what? I need to do more of this.
yeah, no, that was kind of like my first day in it. And I told the story on here many times. I got my ass beat by a girl. I mean, she's been
Yeah.
on here and she's a black belt now, and but that was like
She's a badass.
yeah, it was very eye opening.
Who was it?
Amanda Clifton.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah. She's
like,
a hard ass.
yeah, dude. And I do CrossFit with her now. Like we're
Yeah.
good friends. And but yeah, my very first day, and like I came in, I was like, I lift weights. I wrestled in high school. I'm gonna be a big tough guy, and then pretty quickly, like she was like my first or second round, and I just got triangled, armbarred, like just sub me multiple times, and just looked so like it was nothing
Like,
for
what
her.
the fuck is going
like,
on
No,
here?
like it was just so easy for her, and I was like, holy shit, this eye opening moment for me. I was like, oh wow, this shit fucking works.
Yeah.
Like it was very eye opening for me, and I've just stuck with it ever since. But it was just like but I remember getting in the car like right after that very first day, and I called my wife, and I was like, this is what I've been missing. This is what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Like this
It
is
hits people like that.
I literally
sometimes,
said this
man.
exact word. I was like, this is what I do now. Like, I'm just letting you know, like I signed up, I'm doing this now. And I don't see myself stopping this.
Yeah.
Cause it's like, I missed that, like you just miss that. You kind of feel that sense of camaraderie with the team and the people and you never get a better workout
No.
than grappling.
That's the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah. And I think
It
that's,
sucks.
That's
I
the
went
hardest thing I've ever
I
done.
went from, just lifting weights, a few times a week. I was like thinking maybe I'll do a bodybuilding show or like something stupid like that.
Yeah.
Or not stupid, but I thought that was what I was going to do. Cause I was like, what else is there to do? And then I was like, oh, you can still like wrestle and grapple and like do this in your mid 20s. Like I didn't know that was a thing,
Yeah.
and then just this very eye opening moment for me. But did you ever have a moment like that where you're like, man, this is what I do now?
Man, so when I was 26, I had like a pre-midlife crisis just because of what I was doing. Like I was DJing all the time.
Hold that
and
mic a little closer.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was DJing all the time, and like every night I was DJing, and with DJing comes partying.
Yeah.
And and like I was DJing one time, and it just hit me like, fuck, dude, I don't like doing this anymore. And so like I had a really bad bout with depression during that time. I tried to kill myself, and my best friend was like, dude, I moved to Florida, come to Florida. I was like, all right, cool. I went to Florida, stayed there for about a year and a half. And towards the end of that, when I kind of got like my mental health taken care of and things like that, only thing I was doing jiu-jitsu and working, giving kayak tours, which was a cool job, but it's not what I love doing. And I remember sitting at the kayak stand, like before COVID, Florida was empty over the summer. And I lived in Fort Myers especially so. And so I would go to the kayak stand, and I would just fucking sit there for like 8 hours, and no one would show up. And like I would go kayak every once in a while or do something like that. But I remember sitting there, sorry. And my coach called me. He's like, hey, we're having practice at noon. You should come up and get. I was like, man, I'm at work. And that phone call just fucking pissed me off. I was like, man, I should be fucking training. I was only a blue belt at the time too. Like, but I was like, that's what I want to do. Like, I want to fucking, at the very least, be able to teach jiu-jitsu, and make a living out of it and just do that all the time. And I was like, you know, and I even put it on Facebook. I remember that day I made a Facebook status says, within the next year, I'll be doing jiu-jitsu full time. So fuck all this. And so through that, I started, you know, like kind of trying to test the waters around Fort Myers of doing that. And this one guy offered me like teaching judo. Like as a blue belt, you shouldn't be teaching jiu-jitsu. I don't give a fuck where you are. But I could teach judo at the time. And so I started teaching a judo class, making a little bit of money there. And then Brian had called me because I had got my blue belt from Brian. And then a little bit after I made that Facebook post, I got my purple belt in Florida. And Brian had called me, and he was, I guess, having like his school was growing a lot, and he was having trouble finding help. And he was like, "Hey, dude, you want to move back home and, you know, teach
Coach.
and help me teach, help me like clean the gym. You're gonna be doing a bunch of fucking shit duties like your first day and stuff like that." I was like, "Fucking done,
I'm in. Yeah.
done." He's like, "All right, well, I need you here next week." So I went home, told the roommates. They got kind of pissed.
Yeah.
I was like, "Hey, dude, I'm fucking going, man." I was like, and
It's the opportunity I've been looking for.
Yep,
Yeah.
packed my shit up and went back home and started doing jiu-jitsu for $600 a month, which was tough.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm sure.
Damn. So did you not have any other like side gigs or like DJing and all still? Or?
I DJ'd a couple times. Like I took like there was like you ever been to like a dance club that's like more garnered toward like 30-year-olds?
Kind
Kind of, yeah, it's kind of a weird spot, but
Yeah.
we had one of those places, and they
Okay.
were like, "Hey, we'll pay you $100 Friday, Saturday each to DJ on Friday and Saturday." I was like, "Yeah," I was like, "as long as I can take off when I have tournaments."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah." So I started doing that for a little bit until like the money in the gym grew and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like I took like other shitty jobs, like like Menards needed somebody to come stock show from like 5 a.m. to 9. I was like, done.
Done. Not going to affect my training.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll just
Man.
take a nap after and be fine. So I did a lot of that for like probably up until like middle brown belt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. So how long was it for you from white to black?
8 years.
8 years.
One good year expedited that. So at brown belt, I won everything. The only match I lost was the finals of the world championship.
Wow.
And even then I had a broken rib.
Shit.
Which sucked. Don't compete with a broken rib. Not a good time. But after that, I remember I got done, got my silver medal. I was like, "Fuck, dude, I'm winning this motherfucker next year." And like Brian was like, "Yeah, sure." I was like, "Can't wait to fucking brown belt. I'm fucking taking over." And then 2 months later, I got my black belt. He's like, "Yeah, you're gonna win, dude, but you gotta do a black belt now."
Yeah. It's a little bit harder there.
Yeah. And I think I had 60 matches that year, so going like 59 and
Holy
1.
shit.
Yeah, 59 and 1.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
That's a ton.
That's a lot. So do you think, because you mentioned going down to Florida on the depression side of things, do you think, martial arts was your therapy?
A little bit, yeah. I think mostly getting myself out of that like situation I was in was
Gotcha.
a big part of it. Because like, not to shit on people that fucking go out every night, but
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's not,
no, it is.
it's
not
not
great.
good.
Not
You
great,
got
man.
something wrong going on in your life, and when you surround yourself with those people all the fucking time, that's going to start bleeding into your life as well. And I just, like I watched, especially like DJing at the strip club, I watched a lot of guys like, come up like I did, where they were doing a different job, and then they were there for so long, and then they take the manager job, and it just sucks their fucking
then you're
life
stuck.
out, dude.
Yeah.
And then I remember before I moved, I got offered a manager job, and I was like, no way, dude, no fucking way. I was like, I can't do that, man. I don't want to I've seen this dude's fucking life go in the shitter because of this. And so that's when I kind of was like, made that. And then moving to Florida took me out of that. And martial arts is therapeutic, but I always tell, especially my students, I'm like, hey man, jiu-jitsu is not fucking therapy. It's awesome. It helps. Therapy is therapy. You need to get a professional to do that shit for you. And I don't want to fucking go to no stranger and tell them my fucking problems, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, as somebody who's been to therapy, dude, it fucking helps.
It's changed my life. I go every 2 weeks.
Same. I go, I try to go once a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like after I hit like mid 30s and like, some of those feelings were still lingering around. And like, every once in a while you go like, if you're not doing anything about it, you'll have a fucking week or two where shit just fucking feels in the dumps. And I was like, man, like, how am I going to tell my students, how am I going to tell my son, things like this, that you should do the right things if I'm not doing them as well. And so that's when I started doing therapy and stuff like that. And that helped. But yeah, jiu-jitsu definitely did help.
Yeah.
Keep me focused and, like really opened my eyes to what I really like in life.
Yeah,
That
well,
was a
and
big
it
one.
also exposes you to just a great community of people. You know, like you said, it's like when you're hanging around those people that are going out all the time. You know, it's the same thing in the opposite direction if you're hanging around with the people that are at the jiu-jitsu gym, because most likely they're going to be people that are trying to better themselves. At least that's been my experience.
Yeah.
Like it's always positive, like driven people that, at least anyone that sticks around in jiu-jitsu, you know, because you have to be willing to take some beatings and it takes a long time to get really good at jiu-jitsu.
It does.
Like it takes a long time. You're not going to get, like, I mean, there's a handful of people out there that, you know, you see have only been training a couple of years and they, you know, do some big things, but you know, those people are very rare, you know, and it's like, you gotta stick with this thing for a long time before you're any good at it. And to have that kind of grit and like determination for that long a time, like you kind of forges a special person, in my opinion.
It does. And, you know, another good thing about it is jiu-jitsu brings in such a wide net of people with different life experiences, different upbringings, different, you know, financial thing.
Oh,
and so you get everybody in, and, you know, for the most part, I mean, some turds do drift through. Like,
sure.
Every once in a while you're gonna get a piece of shit in jiu-jitsu.
Sure,
It happens
of course.
everywhere. But like, for the most part, you know, when you're asking your teammate, like, hey man, I need some advice on this subject or whatever. And then you went through that too. You're going to get a sincere answer, and you're going to get a knowledgeable answer because that's what that person has lived. And so that alone makes jiu-jitsu, or any martial arts, where that can, you know, anything, makes it invaluable to me.
Oh, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're so right on the different demographics. I mean, if I just think about this morning with my training, like, we got, you know, a buddy of mine who's a lawyer, very, very successful. And, you know, and then we got another guy, you know, what does he do? He's a painter. You know, we've got all these guys that are just all different walks of life. And it's just like different ethnicities, different, you know, races, different jobs, different careers, you know, different political views. Like everything is, you know, it's every, you know, everything you can think of, and everybody's together, and they all, doesn't matter what everybody believes or where everybody came from, but like on the mat, like everybody's the same, man. It doesn't matter. It's just it's like, it's a true meritocracy.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like we were talking about before. It's the ultimate ego check.
Yeah.
Like there's no bigger ego check than stepping on the mat and doing jiu-jitsu and getting your ass kicked no matter what level you're at.
Right.
It's going to happen. Like you said, it's going to happen. As long as you're doing jiu-jitsu, you're going to lose.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. If you're not losing, you're in the wrong room.
You're not losing. You're not training the right way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what we were talking about earlier. Like, the ability to accept a loss in the training room is crucial to everything there is about becoming a better martial artist. And like, you know, a lot of, like, I coach a lot of MMA fighters, and those are the guys I see have problems with losing in the gym. And I tell them, like, man, like,
this is where it's okay to lose.
yeah,
you know?
like, I'm a world champion. I get tapped by my own students. Like, if I'm cool with losing here, you fucking should be.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and, you know, once we break that barrier with some of those guys, then you see like real growth, you know, like real growth.
Yeah. And I remember I was actually having this conversation with someone the other day about how, you know, it's like, it's the people that are, you know, I remember a big shift in my like mentality about training. Like I can't remember exactly, but it was probably halfway through white belt or so. And I remember like realizing that, hey, it's okay if I get subbed. Like, it's not the end of the world. Like, and it just became, and I just thought of it more of like a game instead of like, I used to think about it like a life or death situation.
Yeah.
Like, man, if we were in the street and that guy, he would have broke my arm or whatever. It's like, no, dude, it's a game. He won the game. We reset. Now we get to start over.
It's even got rules and points.
I got a new, yeah, exactly. You know, it's like, okay, now it's a video game. I just respond, you know, it's a new game, you know, or whatever. And when you start thinking about it like that, it became way more fun, and I got way better because I started caring less about, like, I'd try more stuff. I'd, you know, be more, you know, adventurous with like, okay, well, I remember I drilled this. Let me actually try it in live training. Oh, well, it didn't work today. Let me try it again, you know, like until it actually starts working.
That's how it goes, man.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Trevor said, when we're in there doing our like training for the first half, like, and even when we first start the sparring, he's like, yeah, if you're pushing, like, am I going to get better if I'm the better, you know, if I'm a higher belt?
If I'm a black belt and,
you know,
you know, I'm rolling with this blue belt, you know, if I just smash it, we're starting in this position that we all just learned.
Yeah.
And if can I smash him? Sure. But like, is he going to get any better? Am I going to get any better? Like, no, I'm not going to use my A game against something he just learned.
Right.
You know, like,
I'm going to give a little fight. I'm going to put a little pressure on him to make him better. But I'm not trying, like, if you're on the bottom, you're not trying to get better. You're trying to help the guy that's learning this stuff get better. So I don't know. I think it's, and that's what's cool. I mean, that's what I love about Watson's is the way they coach it and the way they do everything. But yeah, I mean, if obviously you got to have a good partner that you're rolling with, but I felt like, I don't think there's nobody that I haven't rolled against. Maybe one guy, and he wasn't even from Watson. He just dropped in and he put me in that wrist locked and popped my elbow. Like I don't know, probably like my third or fourth time going.
What a party animal.
Yeah.
Cool guy.
Party animal.
I was like, I
wrist locks.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. My forearm blew. It was, I'm like, are you, like, and I think Trevor came over and was like, nah, dude, go. I don't know if you were there that day.
I don't think I was.
Yeah. If you're popping like
Yeah.
the guy's arm on his third class, that's usually not good.
Yeah. Not good. Speaking of wrist locks, have you heard about the bell that Kyle put in at the gym?
No.
So he put a bell. He has a bell up by like the front, and it says Devil's Handshake. And so if anybody gets if you get subbed with a wrist lock, you got to go up and ring the bell.
Damn.
And everybody goes, hey!
Everybody stops and stares at you. You got to do the walk of shame.
You got to do the walk of shame. You know, you got to go. Who got wrist locked? Who got him? You know,
sure as shit. The first time I roll with him after he puts it up, he's going for a fucking wrist lock. Like, fuck you, asshole! I'm not ringing that bell.
Imagine Kyle's trying to get one, and everybody rolls with
bro,
it.
He's the wrist lock fucking king there, dude. He's always trying to get the wrist locks.
It's funny. The first time I ever met Andrew, he was at a seminar in our gym, and one of the black belts, he was making a joke saying, "Oh, wrist locks don't work." And Andrew, being Andrew, doesn't know when people are being sarcastic, and so he rolled with him and he wrist locked him like 5 times.
Oh my god, wrist locks don't work.
It's like, bro, he wasn't serious.
Dude, there is one. I've met one guy who I found. There's a guy at Watson's. His wrist locks do not work on him. He can literally like fold his.
I'm jealous of those people.
Yeah, I mean, he can literally like make his palm touch his
wrist.
forearm, and I'm like, because I'm sitting there, I'm like, I have him in the wrist lock, and he's just like letting me do it. And I go, what the fuck is wrong with you? He goes, I got really flexible wrists, man. I thought that doesn't work on me. I go,
you gotta go somewhere else.
Yeah. It's like, what?
All right, time for the ankle.
Yeah. Like, all right, I'm going. Yeah, I guess I got to attack the elbow.
That guy's never ringing the bell.
No, he's never ringing it. And I was like, holy shit. Yeah, I was like, wow, that's the first time I've ever seen that. But yeah, man.
I've met a couple guys like that, and like it's not even just from like wrist locking them. Like I'll grab them and they'll like move their arm a certain way, and their palm will touch their forearm. I'm like,
ugh,
what is going on here, dude?
Ugh. Oh man. Well, so you've been in the fight game a long time. What keeps you coming back after injuries and mental slumps and burnout and stuff?
Man, I just love doing it. Like I wish I can give you a deeper answer, like about how life works and stuff like that. But I just love doing it. I have the most fun doing it. I've never gone there to the gym and trained and regretted it.
No, I literally said those exact words the other day.
Like even like, like I just recently left my old team, and like things leading up to that, I was not as comfortable doing it, but I still like doing it. You know what I mean? Like even like the days where I'm like, fuck, dude, like, this isn't great. I'm like, fuck, well, I'm here though. I'm fucking doing jujitsu. Like this is awesome. I just love doing it, man.
Could be worse.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah,
and like that's something like I tell people all the time. I'm like it's like coaching. You get like a lot of young kids that like don't know where they're going, don't know what they want to do, and it's something I told my son just the other day because he's 18, but he's going into his senior year, and I said, man, what do you want to do after school? He's like, I don't really know. I was like, that's fine. I was like, just whatever you like doing, try to do that, and I'm a firm believer, and it's kind of got me in, like philosophical spats with people I've worked with before, where it's like, man, I'm a true believer in like, if you do something that you're passionate about and you put 100% behind that, shit's going to work out, maybe not to like a grand view or anything like that, but like shit's going to work out. Like if you put your heart behind it and your mind behind it and like your actual effort behind it, not just saying that shit and actually going out and doing it, it's going to work out to some extent.
Yeah. I mean, if you're, no matter what you're into, if you're into art or you're into basket weaving, you become the best fucking basket weaver on the planet.
Right.
You're going to probably make a career. You could probably make a career out of it. It's like, no matter what it is, if you try hard enough, you put enough effort into it. Yeah. I believe in that as well, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I'm never going to be, the number one grappler in the world. I know that, you know what I mean? But what I can do is I can take my knowledge and my experience I've had this whole time, and I can put 100% of my effort behind that and still become a better competitor than I am today, and also help my students in whatever goals they have, whether it be on jiu-jitsu or MMA or whatever the fuck they want to do. You know, it doesn't even have to be that. I truly believe that you can use anything you're passionate about as kind of like a vehicle to teach about other things. You know, not necessarily about expertise about that stuff, but like, you know, yeah, when you start something new or somebody wants to really go after their goal, you can give them insight into like, yeah, man, like you're going to run into these problems doing this stuff. And I truly believe that me doing that can help out, you know, whoever wants to listen, you know.
How much better did your jiu-jitsu and judo get when you became a teacher of it?
Light years.
Yeah.
Light years.
Yeah. It's always something like that I always go back to, like with baseball, when I was like in the off season, I'd give pitching lessons, and my mechanics, everything just got so much better in the off season because of just being able to teach and coach those things, and just like, oh shit, teach it to a kid. I'm like, oh, I need to do that. Yeah. Like,
you have to, the reason I think why is because you have to understand what you're teaching.
Yes.
You have to understand it on a fundamental level at very minimum.
Mm.
You know, like when I still do, but like coming up through purple and brown, I was really known for my lasso guard, you know, and when I started teaching more, people were like, hey, how do you do your lasso? I was like, fuck, dude, how do I do my fucking lasso? I just been kind of fucking doing it. And so like it made everything better, you know, and like now that I'm running my own gym and my own program, I got to do that with every position.
Mm-hmm.
You know, why does this work? Why does this work? And I got to explain that to people in a way they can understand. And so it helps me understand as well.
Yeah, when you're having to teach it, I feel like it just carves those pathways deeper so much more, and you don't even have to think about it. Like I felt the same way because I coached the beginners class at Kyle's for about 2 years until we had our second kid, and then I just didn't have the time anymore. And, you know, it was just the basics. It was like, you know, you're basically in there for like the first, you know, 6 weeks or so. And then you kind of graduate to go to the big class, and which I think it's a good way to do it, you know, because I remember my very first day, you know, you just got kind of thrown to the wolves, and, you know, the retention rate was not great.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And, you know, I see why Kyle does it. It makes a ton of sense, especially with how big his school is.
Oh,
and,
giant.
You know, it's huge,
school,
you know?
man.
And so like, you know, even those basics classes, you know, sometimes we have 20 people in them, you
Yeah.
know, and it's like the big class. And, but I remember I just taught the basics for, you know, 2 years. And it was just like, I feel like I got so much better, you know, just through that 2 years, just coaching 2 nights a week.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's how it works. I was teaching close guard the other day, and somebody was asking, well, what do you do in the close guard? I was like, man, what the fuck do I do in the close guard?
Yeah.
And then so I was like, I went to close guard the next day when I was training. I was like, all right, well, somebody asked that question, so I'm going to answer it.
Figure it out.
Yeah. So I always went hand in the collar. Okay. And so I was telling them, like when I was teaching the class, I was like, yeah, guys, we go hand in the collar for this reason. You know,
Breaking the posture.
Yeah, breaking the posture, getting your second hand in the collar. If they're defending the choke, they're not passing your guard. And people are like, oh, fuck. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
What's up?
I know some shit.
Yeah, I figured that out yesterday. But like, you know, like when you start thinking about that stuff, you know, it's stuff that you naturally do. Like if somebody would have asked me that, I would eventually give them that answer without trying it. But like, you know, when I start thinking about teaching the answer, you know, I gotta give it.
Yeah, you'll be able to articulate it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you're talking about your son, and but you said you grew up without a father.
Yep.
How did that, you know, shape the way that you've raised your son, especially now that he's 18?
Man, it's that's a trip, because like you don't want to fall into those pitfalls as well. And like that's like a big like generational, people talk about generational curses and stuff, because like, you know, like you grow up a certain way, and you when you go to like raise a kid, you know, it falls into that too. You don't want to, like, sometimes you overlook pitfalls that you were in, or things that you were going through when you were getting parented that weren't great, but you didn't really realize it. And so for me, especially when I was young, or when he was younger and I was younger, like having a kid at 18, you're going to fuck a lot of stuff up, dude. And I was the worst about it. And especially like the job DJing every night is not a fucking good
kid friendly
job. No, man, it's not. And me and his mom early on got into it a lot, and it wasn't great. And then as I got older, you know, I kind of just looked at myself in the mirror one day. I was like, dude, you're fucking doing the same shit, dude. You're falling into that stuff. And I fucking completely reversed what I was doing. You know, try to be first better myself so I can better him. And that really molded not wanting to be that, and not wanting to experience, you know, have him experience the same shit that I did. really made me a better father in a lot of ways. And like that, and I never, growing up as a kid, I never really was like, oh man, I don't have a dad around. Because it's just how my life was. You know what I mean? My mom was excellent. My Uncle Louis was excellent. And so like, I never really realized as a kid what I was missing out on until I had him. I was like, fuck, dude. Like,
Yeah,
this is important shit,
for sure.
So like just going through that and, seeing him and seeing the things that I was fucking up and finally realizing that, that I was falling into those same traps and like those same things and going on, like not on purpose, but just how life works. And I had to like really look at myself to, be like, you got to be better. You got to be better for him so we can be better.
Yeah. Was there something that like kind of triggered that moment where you're like, okay, this is where I need to get better?
Oh, dude, absolutely. So when I lived in Florida, I would come back and visit every month.
Okay.
And I remember he was probably 6 or 7,
okay.
Young kid. And his mom has been with the same guy forever. So his stepdad,
okay.
Awesome guy. Mom's awesome. I remember coming back home from Florida one time and he was telling me what they were doing that day. He's like, yeah, my mom and dad took me to whatever. Oh, they fucking sent a fucking, I was like, fuck, dude. And like, I can't be mad about that. Right. That's my fucking fault, and that fucking sent a fucking shockwave through me. You got to be fucking better, dude. You got to be fucking, like, that's on you. You feel that way because you let yourself feel that way. And that was the big one. That was the big eye opener.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It sucked, dude. It sucked.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah. Well, and on that same breath, I mean, what did growing up without a father teach you about masculinity, and how has that influenced what you're trying to embody today?
Man, that was a great question. Again, so like growing, like I had father figures around. Like my mom was married to a guy that died, and then remarried another guy that was pretty good. They ended up separating. It didn't work out. Shit happens. But like 2 great dudes. And so I had it around, but my mom was really good about making sure that I had positive male influence in my life, which started with my Uncle Louis and things like that. And then also the flip side of that is so like people talk about like toxic masculinity. I think they use that word wrong a lot.
Yeah, we discuss that all the time.
Yeah. And, she, when I was growing up, she would like impart on me like, hey, it's important to be strong. It's important to be manly and things like that because you are one. But also, like, you can't shut your feelings down. You can't, lash out at people when things aren't going your way. And I think as I grew up and like the word toxic masculinity started getting thrown around, that's what toxic masculinity is not having
the emotional intelligence.
Yeah, emotional intelligence to really funnel your feelings in a productive way, like punching the fucking wall because you've been holding shit in for so fucking long, or lashing out at people you care about because, you're scared to like open up and be vulnerable about that stuff. That to me that's toxic masculinity, and that's how it comes out. And so having my mom around to really, her intelligence of having, hey, you need to do this stuff as a man. You need to experience these things as a man, but also you got to know this is what comes with it. And this is what you need to look out for. And so thankfully she was smart enough and a good enough, an excellent mom to impart that on me. And then of course having my uncle around as well really helped out because, same, they're brother and sister. So he kind of said it in a more like, hey dude, it's cool to, like I looked up to him a lot. He was the coolest person to me growing up. So when he says that shit, he's like, it's cool to do that stuff. It's okay to cry. It's okay to fucking be vulnerable to the people you care about. So I'm not saying go around and fucking cry to everybody you fucking meet, but like the people you care about, are there for you. And that's what those people are for. And he's like, and you got to return that favor as well. Right. And so like learning that from those two really, really helped out.
Yeah, man. Wow. As with you, and I'm sure you coach some kids, do you ever feel like you're kind of the positive male role model in their lives?
Man, yeah. It's a weird feeling. Like with my own son, like I have that feeling as well. Sure. But also like when I'm looking around and like, especially like, I told you about the judo program that my coach did. I want to bring that through jiu-jitsu as well for my community.
Oh, that's cool.
That's what I want to do. But at the same time, I get like imposter syndrome about stuff sometimes. I'm like,
Yeah,
why the
for
fuck
sure.
are people looking up to me, man?
Yeah,
I just
what?
fucking do. I'm a fucking nerd that does jujitsu, man. Like, I don't know shit about shit, but
I'm a nerd that likes to hug dudes. You
yeah,
know?
that's literally it, man. Like, yeah. Me and my friends get together. We fuck each other up fucking
Yeah.
7 days a week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, it's kind of like I realize the role I have in playing that part, but sometimes I gotta like, I'm like, what the fuck am I? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's scary.
For sure.
It's scary because like, you know, like I've seen bad coaches fuck people up. You know what I mean? I never want to do that. I never want to do that to somebody.
Yeah.
You know? And so it's a weird thought process in my head that I go through sometimes. Where I'm like, man, I really got to be careful what I'm doing here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so like, and also like, I have like a little bit of a free spirit in me too. Like, you'll catch me cussing or saying dirty jokes in the gym.
For
Or,
sure.
yeah.
It's fun.
Playing rowdy music and stuff. And I got to look around, see who's there. So like, you know, so it's a lot of self-policing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we just recently had this young kid start at the gym. I want to say he's like 14 or 15, but like he's got these big cauliflower ears. Been training for a few, you know, he's been training since he was like 10 or I think he said like 10 or something. But like you roll with this kid and you're like, but yeah, it was the exact thing. I was like, oh man, I got to watch my mouth a little bit, you know, like let's watch what we're, you know, saying in the locker room, you know, kind of shit like that.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's just funny. I was thinking about that the other day.
It never really hits you. And like, it hit me the other day. A kid brought me a little 6-year-old kid brought me like a invitation to his birthday party. I was like, fuck, dude.
That's
Whoa.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's
That is
cool. It's cool. But like, you're like, oh fuck, this kid fucking really like
Looks up to me. Yeah.
I'm not just this kid's jiu-jitsu instructor. You know what I mean? Like he obviously thinks about this shit when he's not in the room, which is crazy to think about. And it's awesome. Good thing. But it makes you realize like the impact you have on people's lives. Like even when you're not really thinking about it.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome.
Well, as a coach, how do you differentiate between the tough love and the emotional intelligence side of things?
This is a good question too. You guys got good questions. You guys are good at this, which is funny. 'Cause I've recently run into this problem. I got a little bit of the tism, so like I give things deadpan sometimes, and so I'll say something and my facial expression won't change, and people think I'm being mean. And I have a girl fighter that's really good, and like I really like, you know, she can. In my eyes, she could be like she can make it, you know. And so like when I'm telling her stuff, I'll say it, and like it comes like if I'm doing a lot, like if there's a lot of people in the room, I'm like going back and forth. I'll be like, hey, don't do that. That's wrong. And I'll walk off and she'll be like, get mad. I'm like, she's like, you're fucking, you know, like she brought it to me. She's like, sometimes you say things, I think you're being mean to me. And I'm like, when? And like, she'll bring up an example like, fuck, dude. Like, well, I didn't fucking mean to do that. And so like, I'm bad about that. Like sometimes like I'll fucking like, hey dude, like you're fucking up. And, when some people like that kind of coaching, and that's kind of like at natural, that's how I kind of coach. Like, you know, I had hard ass coaches growing up. Like my coach, like Heath.
Yeah.
Heath's the perfect example. He's a hard ass coach, man. Like Heath got on my ass the other day about doing a knee weave for no fucking reason. He was like, "What are you fucking doing? I want that for?"
Oh, you're teaching a knee weave?
No. So we were doing so like we got the PSF CJI team, and so we do like
shit, I forgot that.
Dude,
that's sick.
So we're doing pro training. They do pro trainings at 10 a.m. every day, and I go up on Mondays. And we were doing like positional sparring from knee shield.
Okay.
And like it was my job to get chest on chest and pass, but I kept knee weaving. He's like, why are you doing that? And I didn't have an answer for him. And I was like, I don't know. It's just kind of
habit.
Yeah, habit. He's like, oh, that's fucking stupid. He's like, because your chest is already on top of the leg.
Right.
Your hand doesn't need to be doing that. And I was like, fuck. You're right.
I
But like him being so
travel up the body.
Yeah, him being like so aggressive with it clicked with me.
Yeah.
I do that to somebody else. Like I went and like, you know, or I take that kind of energy and I give it to somebody else like me, it's gonna be great. Also, you gotta realize not everybody's like you.
Especially these kids these days.
Yes.
Because I coach a 17, 18U high level high school baseball team. And some guys, it takes a while to learn some of them. Some of these guys I've had this is my third season with them.
Yeah.
And some of them I can get in their face and chew them out. Other guys, I just got to pull them aside and like, hey man, like.
Yeah.
You know.
And so like I've actually had a little bit of, not a problem. Like it's never been like a big issue or anything like that. But we're like, you know, like I'll realize, hey, I got to dial it back with this person. I got to have a more softer approach with this person and things like that. So it's been a definite learning curve for me.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, man. So speaking of the CJI PSF team, who's have you guys announced who's on the team? Or
Yeah. So it's Max Hansen.
Okay.
Dante Leon, Jacob Couch, Michael Pixley, Brandon Reed.
Woo.
It's a banger
The
team.
banger team.
It's a banger
dude.
team.
God, that's gonna be so sick. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
That's gonna be. I love how they're doing the team thing this year.
I love
And, like,
Quintet. Quintet is the best.
Oh, it's such a fun.
When is it?
Master Worlds weekend.
Yeah,
Okay.
August, right? August, end of August or mid August.
Into August. Yeah, it's always like the weekend before Memorial Day or something like that.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be sick. I can't wait.
I'm
Because-
hyped.
Me too, man. It's gonna be awesome. The last one was fucking awesome. I love the pit. I
went to both.
Oh, you
So
did?
I
You were
was
there?
at, so I went to ADCC because we had
Oh, yeah, it was both
PSF
days.
guys
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
on ADCC, but like the tickets for CGI were like $20. So we went to both.
Yeah.
And I'm out there.
nice.
You're out there for Master Worlds anyways.
Yeah.
Went to both. The CJI was incredible. Incredible. It was so fun. Like in the building was so fun. Like ADCC was cool too. But like you definitely felt that like lack of
Yeah.
excitement.
Because people,
Yeah.
everybody's, well, they,
Oh,
they
dude.
they took most of the good people and they were in
dude,
CJI.
crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And then the CJI matches were fucking insane.
They were insane.
right?
Yeah,
They
we
were
did
so
a
good.
we did a live podcast. Like in,
It was,
in, like
that was
the
an
fight
awesome
companion.
night because
Yeah,
you had UFC, you had
Yeah, we had
ADC and-
ADCC, CJI, and the UFC.
all
card.
three screens going.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
It was
great.
awesome. We were just like sitting there, like we had basically had the TV there, 4 people on this side of the table, and just like watching all of them talking about the, bullshitting
Yeah.
about everything going on. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And I can't
Yeah.
wait for this one.
It's gonna be crazy. And now that PSF's got a team, I'm
Yeah. Oh, for
I'm
sure.
gonna be there yelling, throwing shit at people.
Dude, that's awesome, man. I can't wait.
Yeah.
When and the UFC just started their jiu-jitsu stuff too. Is
Yeah.
that's I mean, it really hasn't taken off.
Well, they
all that
just
much yet,
announced
but-
the second one now. I think
It's like October.
Yeah, Tackett and who's the other guy?
Hinato Canuto.
Yes.
Yeah, and Mikey's. I think Mikey's got a match on there too.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
interested to see who they sign
Yeah.
Yeah.
because the exclusive contract model.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's.
a big fan
I'm
of.
not a big fan of that either.
But we'll see. We'll see who bites onto it.
Yeah, I mean,
Because I guess if they do that, then they can't do anything else.
well, I think they'd be allowed to do anything that UFC Fight Pass does. So like they could do karate combat,
Yeah,
or and
stuff
like a
like
couple
that.
of the other ones that like
Probably
UFC Fight Pass
probably like
does.
IBJJFs too. They're
Yeah.
probably not going to throw a big bitch fit about. But
Right.
like I know they can't do CJ.
Yeah, you can't do CJI, can't do ADCC.
Yeah, I don't know about
or-
that one.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that would
Like
be.
they couldn't do who's number one.
Yeah, yeah. Know who's number one.
Trying to think what else there is.
That's really it. Probably no Polaris.
Polaris.
I wouldn't be surprised if it turns into something where it's like the CJI keeps growing and growing and growing like it is. That they just go in and buy it.
Yeah.
Oh, Craig's a petty motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't know. He's pretty pissed that they used the
Pit.
the slanted
Also-
walls thing.
Yeah.
A thing people overlook about CGI, it's all for charity.
Yeah,
He doesn't keep any of that. It's all nonprofit. So he puts it all to charity.
pretty cool. And his whole thing is just to like get the just get
Get 'em
jiu-jitsu
paid.
big,
Yeah.
and get the athletes
Get the
paid.
athletes
yeah.
paid and like help
And-
out the community.
Yeah, and just grow it. You know,
Yeah.
because I mean, you got to think how many people. Because they streamed it live on YouTube for free.
Doing
know,
it
and
again this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, because whereas ADCC, you got to have a Flow Grappling account, and and people that are, just maybe not even. I feel like it's only like the hardcore people that have a Flow Grappling account.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't even have a flow. I'd steal somebody.
Yeah.
I ain't paying for that shit.
Yeah, I mean,
But, like,
that's
even-
literally the only thing I'd watch on it every year, really.
And it's fucking smart, like because like if you look at like the peaks of like CGI on YouTube, it was like 200-some-thousand viewers at once,
Yeah,
which is insane for a
for
jiu-jitsu.
jiu-jitsu.
It's fucking crazy,
Yeah.
insane. Never, I guarantee. I don't care what anybody says. That has never happened before.
No way. No way.
I do jiu-jitsu and that shit's fucking boring sometimes. I ain't
Oh,
fucking
for
watching
sure.
that.
I mean, there's, it's like, that's the thing about jiu-jitsu. That's unfortunately like probably one of the reasons it's never going to be like this giant mainstream sport is like, you got to be, you kind of have to be,
Yes.
to do it, to be interested in it, really, to really even understand obviously to understand what's going on. But like, when you see two guys, in a leg entanglement, like you're a guy who doesn't train jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
or even if you're a low level guy that, like doesn't really understand that stuff yet, like it's not going to be a very entertaining thing to
No,
watch.
just
Like,
very
why is he
little-
hugging his feet?
Very little crossover appeal for a lot of reasons. One, there's a lot. It's not. It's prone to not have a lot of action.
Or guys that are just on their feet grappling the whole time.
Oh,
Or
dude,
they're just like
yeah.
pushing each other. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Stand up.
Don't get me with the no-gi purist.
Yes.
It's more exciting. Then you got like a couple like middle high school
Yeah.
level.
Guys that are just
Wrestler
just
level.
locked in collar ties
Oh my
for
fucking
5
God,
minutes
dude.
straight. It sounds like my very first match on the BJJ because I was so determined to take that guy down.
Oh man.
And I
dude-
literally lost the match just because I think I shot for 6 takedowns and I got stuffed every single time. One of the times he threw me in a guillotine for like 20 seconds and I popped my head out and that won on the match.
I'll tell you a secret.
Fuck.
That's why I don't wrestle CXPJ.
I know. I wanted to bring that up.
Dude.
I was gonna bring that up about your and Collins match.
Yeah. I don't give a fuck, dude. Especially like CXPJ is awesome because like one, they take care of everybody.
The atmosphere is awesome
so
too.
cool.
It's like
Adam's
that underground feel. It's so cool,
dude. It's so fucking sweet at the punk rock fucking venue.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so sick. And also like he just wants to have exciting matches.
Yeah.
And like the rule set is, submission first. And so like I had this conversation, my first 2 matches were Zach and Colin.
And then Colin, yeah.
Yeah. And I remember talking to Brian about those matches. He was like, "You gonna do takedowns?" I was like, "Probably not." He's like, "Why?" I was like, "Who gives a fuck?" I was like, I'd rather them commit to a takedown and attach to me so I can start attacking immediately than fucking sit up here and fucking do this for fucking 6 minutes.
I mean, they're short matches too.
Yeah.
Like the black belts are what, 6 or 7 minutes?
6 or 7.
Yeah. So but like at the like mine were 5 minutes matches. I was like, that's not a lot of time.
No, man. And like what's the benefit of me getting the takedown in that?
Right. Yeah. There's no score. It's not going to win me. Not going to win you the match. Probably. You know.
And so like for me, especially like Colin and Mark, again, 2 of your teammates. I gotta stop fighting your guys just because I can't come train at Kyle's. And like Kyle's like I'm coming from Cape, so 55. I just go 55 straight to Kyle's. And I like training at Kyle's, but like every fight it was fucking like Devin and then Josh and then Colin and then fucking Mark and like I'm always fighting. And then like even the opens, I'm fighting like tag team guys, and it's like, fuck, dude. I was like, I want to find somebody else, a different fucking team to fucking go against. But like my going into Colin and Mark was the same thing. I was like, I know the game plan. It's going to be take me down, go in and out of my guard, and try to smash past me.
That's what we do.
Yeah. And so like my whole game plan with Colin and Mark were kind of the same. It was like, let them take me down so they get attached to me and I can start attacking, and I don't give a fuck about, as long as I don't get passed and put into a submission, I'm fucking good.
Yeah.
And like I have a very weird style of jiu-jitsu where I'm very flexible. And so people don't expect it, even after they've seen it a bunch, like, oh, that's, something was going on that day. He's not really that flexible. I fucking am. Yeah.
Well, now that you mention your lasso player, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I can see that.
And so like,
so you've just always been that flexible, or do you train to stuff like no?
I don't fucking stretch at all. I get yelled at all the time for it. No, so I grew up like kickboxing and playing soccer and skateboarding. So that's where like my like hamstring flexibility comes from. But when I was a kid, something happened over the years, probably from skateboarding or soccer, where I tore both my ACLs and just never got them fixed.
Oh, wow.
And so that's why I can just kind of pull my heel to my face from wherever it is. And like, that's why you can't like ankle lock me very well. You can't heel hook me very well because of that.
Ah.
Yeah. So I got a little cheat code in there.
Just tear your ACLs and
you want to be good at jiu-jitsu, get rid of your ACLs.
Yeah, you don't need those things.
I found that out. I was training at a buddy's gym of mine, and he was like, "Hey, I got this white belt. It's pretty good at 50-50. Will you like see what he's doing?" I was like, "Yeah, man." So I told him, I was like, "Yeah, put me in 50-50." So the white belt does, and he fucking rips a heel hook and popped my knee, and I was like, "The fuck?" So I beat the shit out of that guy. The next day, my knee was hurting, so I called one of my students as an orthopedic surgeon. So he had me in for looking at my knees, and he was like, your fucking ACLs are torn? I was like, "No." And he was like, "Yeah, it's been like a while." I was like, "Oh." I was like, "Well, that sucks." He's like, "Is it bothering you?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "Okay, so what happened is like you fucking, the muscle structure around your knee got strong because it had to. Like, you're good." He's like, "Maybe later in life it's gonna fucking start hurting, but he's like, just don't skip leg day. You're fucking all right."
Yeah.
I was like, "Cool." Now I got answers to why I can do this weird shit with my knees.
Yeah. Well, that's a good student to have too. Have an orthopedic surgeon on hand in this fucking sport.
Yeah. He used to like work for the Yankees and shit too.
Oh, okay. So he's like legit. Yeah. Damn, that's a good guy to have around you for sure. Damn, that's cool. So when I'm speaking of leg day, do you do much strength and conditioning? What's your
every day?
Oh, cool.
Or I try to do at least 4.
Okay.
But I break it down. Like I do kind of like a modified conjugate method from like
What's
Westside. So conjugate method is like
Westside barbell.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. So one of the good things about being teammates with Dante is Dante works out at Westside Barbell.
Oh,
and
cool.
before Louis Simmons died, they had a conjugate method for grappling they came up with, and that's what Dante lives. And Dante's the strongest motherfucker I've ever grappled with in my fucking life. Like he shot on me one time and I sprawled. He went like starfish.
Uh-huh.
That ended up with him standing up with me on his shoulder and dumping me. like,
What?
the fuck, dude? And so I started like watching a lot of his training, and I shot him a couple messages and things like that. And he always answered, and it's awesome.
So what's it like?
So like the conjugate method is 4 days, and it's upper lower splits, and you have a max effort day and a dynamic day, like a speed day.
So you have of each of upper and
Yes.
lower. Okay.
Yeah. And then I also add in, like, I like to go to the track and like I'll do like 100-meter. I'll sprint the straights.
Okay.
And like walk the curves, and I'll do that for like a mile, and that's kind of like my conditioning plus like rolling and stuff like that, and then just other stuff too. I had a really good personal trainer for a long time, but he moved to Texas, so I lost him, and that's when I kind of started doing my own thing.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I try to work out. Sometimes I get lazy, and I'm like, fuck, dude, I gotta train hard. I gotta go to fucking PSF today. I'm not gonna go fucking lift.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's almost, especially on those hard training days. It's like you gotta
dude.
prioritize jujitsu. I mean, I prioritize the jujitsu over
Yes.
the strength and conditioning stuff. For
And
sure.
like when I was younger, I could do both all the time. Like I can go lift heavy, then go fucking train. And now I'm like fucking 36. I'm like, dude, I ain't doing that shit no more.
How often are you rolling?
Every day. I try to roll every day, especially now that like I run my own program and have my own school. Like I think it's important to roll with your students.
Yes, I agree.
You know, and I'll roll hard, probably 3 times a week. I'll roll really hard.
Yeah.
But for the other, like, and like I reserve that for like days I go to PSF. I already know that's going to be a rough day. I go to Arnold is so close to Cape. I go train with Kirk Huff. Kirk Huff's really fucking good.
Yeah,
so those days are those are hard days. And then I have a competition class every Friday night where, you know, I tell everybody like, hey guys, like all that stuff we talked about earlier where we were talking about like, yeah, you gotta, you know, win, lose. That goes out the fucking window competition night. We're winning today. And so even though if I'm training with fucking white belts and blue belts, it's still a fucking hard day because like I'm fucking
because you're going. Yeah.
So what does discipline look like for you now as a business owner, father, and coach?
Just doing the right shit, you know, like you know when you're fucking up. And it's something I tell my athletes all the time, like especially fighters, like you know when you're not fucking training enough, you know when you're not fucking doing the right diet, you know when you're not doing enough cardio work. And I think that just applies to life in general. You know what I mean? Like I know when if I go to the gym and I teach a shitty class, like you can feel it, you know what I mean? Or you know when like you sleep in and you don't go lift before you're supposed to, and you fucking know when you're fucking up. And it's just being honest with yourself, I think is a big thing. And I think being able to hold yourself accountable is a skill that you're gonna have to develop over time. And it takes people being honest with you and you being honest with yourself. And I think that's pretty much it, man. I gotta be I'm real bad about eating shit I shouldn't. Yeah. My biggest thing. Same. That's the hardest thing for me.
Yeah.
Especially at night. Like my body hurts at night, so I'll eat edibles to go to sleep. If I don't go to sleep right away, my kitchen is getting fucked up. I'm waking up the next day, there's fucking Pop-Tart wrappers and shit like that. So I gotta like not buy that stuff for one.
Yeah, that's the key. Is don't have it in the house.
Yeah, you can't have it in the house, dude. I got it. And DoorDash is a motherfucker. Can't be DoorDash and shit. Stuff like that. And you know, as far as like the fatherhood side of that, it's, you know, being honest with your mistakes with your child and say, hey, I made these mistakes growing up. To be honest, you're probably going to too, but just look out for that, you know, and like having the discipline to be honest with your fuck ups so that they can learn from them. And also having that understanding when they do fuck up to not fucking blow up about it. Mm. And it's just kind of like an all life thing. Like, you know when you do the wrong thing, you know, unless you're a fucking psychopath, but you know.
Would you say that's the hardest truth you've had to teach him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, we had a conversation, we went out, took him for lunch on his 18th birthday, and he was on my Facebook. He saw I got into an argument with some guy over something stupid. I usually don't argue on social media, but someday I got the time for it. And the guy made a big show about how he didn't know I had a kid, so I'm obviously a bad father. And so he asked about that, and I said I don't give a fuck what that dude says. And I was like, also, I don't post you because I want you to have your own life. Like, I'll put pictures up every once in a while, but it's not like, hey, this is my son every fucking day. I was like, I want you to have your own life. You don't need to fucking, everybody that I'm close with knows about you already. They don't need fucking Facebook to see it. And so I was talking to him about that, and I said, yeah, man. I was like, you know, like when you were younger, I made a lot of mistakes with being your father. And, you know, and he acknowledged that. He's like, yeah, I know. And I said, you know, but over the past, 12 years, I really try to do that and stuff. And I was like, one day you're going to be a father and you're going to think about all those things, and you're going to remember, how you felt during those times and how you feel now. And that's going to help you as well. Like it helped me.
What's your take on how soft the world's gotten, especially when it comes to young men and discipline that martial arts offers?
I think it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. It's just like, you gotta be strong enough to allow yourself to be soft, and you got to be comfortable with yourself enough to be like, hey, you know, I don't give a, like, somebody, you know, making fun of me for making an emotional post or crying or something like that. Like, I'm comfortable with myself, man. I'm good. You know what I mean? If, you know, I'm strong enough to realize that, like, hey, you need to be vulnerable sometimes, you need things like that. And I think a lot of the softness the young men comes around being scared of that feeling, which it's fucking, I was a, you know, not an angry kid, but I was like anxious about a lot of that stuff. And it took me a long time, like going through those feelings and having like breakdowns and like, you know, out of nowhere, like everybody's done it. Like you'll just be sitting around and then out of nowhere, the fucking waterworks start. It's because you're holding all that shit in. You just fucking need to do it every once in a while, and being strong enough to recognize that, hey, you need to be soft sometimes too, you know, but also maintain your sense of self, maintain, you know, be honest with why that's happening and things like that. I think that takes a greater strength than fucking holding everything in and putting on the macho image all the fucking time.
No,
you know?
absolutely.
Yeah. But also sometimes motherfuckers need punched in the face, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, yeah, I think more people need a little bit of that.
Yep.
Oh, for sure.
I said it the other day, like somebody was like, man, I wish I can get through to this guy, blah, blah. I'm like, some people just need to be fucking punched once, dude. You can always tell when somebody's never been into a fucking fight. You can always tell them. Because like they think there's no consequences
for their actions.
Mm-hmm.
Or their words.
There's no dire consequences. Like, I can say whatever I want. It's a free country. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
One day you're gonna run into a motherfucker that does not care about, you know, yeah, cool, I'll go serve my fine after I punch you in your shit.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I walk a weird line between like, hey man, we gotta like, you know, you gotta be understanding of people's plight and things like that. But also, people need to understand your plight, and they push you too fucking hard. They need to be punched in their fucking mouth.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah,
can't disagree with that.
Yeah.
We talked about it earlier, that fucking hockey video on the golf course. That hockey, you see that?
Which one?
The hockey enforcer gets into it with a guy on a golf course. You got to watch this video. It's fucking incredible. But the guy just gets into it with a guy, and the guy's like, dude, leave me alone. Leave me alone. And the guy just keeps screaming at him. And he doesn't know he's yelling at like a retired hockey enforcer, and dude just beats the shit out of him.
Really?
He's like, I fucking told you. Goosh. It's hilarious. Make that the first thing you do when we get done recording. It's the funniest shit ever, dude. We'll put it on. We'll put it on this TV. Yeah. It's incredible. It's the best video I've ever seen.
That's great. I love it.
But every once in a while, somebody needs, like, again, that's why martial arts is great, because you know, there's fucking dire consequences out there every once in a while.
And especially martial arts. I mean, that's the one thing you don't know who you're talking to, what they know, you know, like that's because I'm sure you can think of, I mean, I know plenty of people that you look at them and they're the most unassuming looking motherfuckers, but the second you get on the mat with them, they're going to fucking ragdoll you.
Man. Well, like somebody like Rod Tang, the little Asian guy,
tiny guy. Yeah.
Then somebody mouthing off to him, fucking split their face open with an elbow and walk off.
Yeah.
I mean, or like, you know,
how tall is that guy? He's probably what, like
5'6".
I was gonna say I probably tower over him, and I'm not very tall.
Yeah, that's like 125, dude.
Yeah,
imagine somebody fucking getting into it with him.
Yeah, bounce his shin right off your off your fucking face.
And on the flip side of that, you also know what length somebody's willing to go to. And like this is like, I grew up in like a really bad neighborhood, so I've seen this a lot. Like you get into a fight with somebody, they get pissed off, they come back and they fucking drive by your fucking house. Mm-hmm. Like whatever argument you had, I don't care, was not worth that.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And so like when you're fucking wolfing at a motherfucker, you got to be ready to like accept the consequences of what's going to come back at you. And a lot of people don't do that shit.
I just started assuming, I'm like, man, that guy's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's going to fuck me up.
Bro, even me, man, like,
just
like I've had people ask me all the time, like, hey man, when you just walk into a place and just know you can fuck everybody. I was like, no, I don't fucking know these people, dude.
They know. Yeah, there's a lot of guys out there that can fuck me up.
Yeah. Or like, I don't know, like,
what if they ever got a gun?
That, or like, what if like they're smart about it and they go, yeah, man, we're cool. And they wait till I turn around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's just not worth it, man. It's not worth it. It's not worth fucking, you know, not going home. It's not worth fucking changing your whole life over, you know, like for something fucking stupid.
Yeah.
People,
never worth it.
And people just don't recognize that, like, hey, some people will fuck you up in whatever way they can just to do it. It's just, not great.
No.
The days of you can get into like a pretty harmless fist fight with somebody and that be the end of it are over.
It's
No.
over, man. Everything's caught on video now.
Yep.
Everything's, you're gonna, if you get into a fight with someone, you're gonna, it's gonna end up in some sort of legal battle, or it's something you don't want. It's just not worth it.
Well, that, and you just catch the person the wrong way, you could fucking kill them.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Like
you
hear about bar fights and guy just punched him,
falls
and
out,
hits his head,
bounces his head off the concrete, and
that's it.
That's it.
Your fucking life's over because of one thing. Or probably a spilled drink.
Right.
Or, oh, cool, that guy was looking at your girlfriend, dude. Good job.
Yeah.
That's a compliment, dog.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Good job having a baddie.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give that guy a fucking high five.
Yeah. Let me buy him a drink for complimenting my wife.
Yeah.
Well, I know we've talked about the mental health stuff a lot. What do you do to protect your own mental health with all the stuff that you've got going on in your life? How do you create time for your own mental health?
I mean, I think we talked about going to therapy. Therapy is a big one. I'm a big fan of like, don't go to other people who aren't professionals to go for, which is why like I'm really careful about like, especially in jiu-jitsu, you get a lot of like hero envy. Like people get a black belt in jiu-jitsu, think they can talk about whatever. And it's not just jiu-jitsu. I mean, it's an obvious problem everywhere. Like people will get an expert on something and think that qualifies them to be an expert on everything else, which is not the fucking case. And I tell people all the time, like, guys, like, you can come vent to me, but like, if you start asking me about marriage advice, I've never been fucking married, dude. Probably never be married. Like, I'm not the person to ask you. Go to your marriage counselor, or people like, hey, I've been looking at this dog. I probably don't fucking know. Like, you won't know how to choke somebody? That's cool. So I think
I'm good at that.
Yeah, therapy is important, especially if you're going through something, but also like making time for, I think leisure activities are hugely important. You got to have time away from whatever it is your job is or whatever it is your daily life is. You got to step away from that at least once every 2 weeks. If not, I try to do it once a week. Sometimes it doesn't work out.
What are some of those things for you?
Magic the Gathering's awesome.
Okay.
Video games are awesome. I like Dungeons and Dragons, dude. Honestly, just sitting in bed sometimes and watching fucking TV and just zoning out and not thinking about anything is awesome. And just, getting out with the friends away from the mat and going hiking or taking my dog out somewhere and me and my son going and doing stuff. Like me and my son like to lift together. That's awesome for me.
That's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, 'cause it's not like a hard lifting session for me or anything, but like I'm there with him.
Yeah.
Helping him
for
out.
sure.
We're spending time together, or like we just go get lunch. Just anything away from the fucking normal grind of what you're doing is so important. I think that's what leads people to a lot of burnout is, especially young athletes coming up. I've seen a lot in jiu-jitsu too, where like, oh, I gotta fucking, I gotta grind. Every day I gotta grind. David Goggins, burn the boats down.
Yeah, burn the boats.
Yeah. Like, well, he can do that well because like that's his fun thing.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't sound too fun.
Yeah, his
You can have all that.
what was it that he was saying? His vacation are his like 3-minute showers that he takes.
Yeah.
He's like, that's when I go on my vacation. Is when I'm taking a shower. Then I get out of the shower and it's back to grinding.
Yeah, and like I tell people all the time, like, man, you're gonna burn yourself out, dude.
Yeah.
Take a couple days, and it's something I heard JW talk about it just recently. Where especially as like a business owner, you got to be like comfortable with telling yourself, like, hey, man, you can take a fucking day right here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something like since like I've gone out my own in January, I've had to like really, like the first 2 or 3 months I was doing this, I was like every day I'm working on something every day, and I'm glad I did that, but also I could feel it coming on to me, and so I had to like sit back and be like, you know what, man, today I'm just gonna go I'm gonna call the guys up, see if we want to play Dungeons and Dragons, see if we want to fucking sit around and grill or something, and that's all I'm gonna do today. That's it. Or today, I've been around too many people this week. I get overwhelmed, like stimulus overwhelmed sometimes. So like every once in a while, I just gotta be like, I'll tell people, like I'll tell my mom, tell my son, like, hey, my phone's off. You know where the house is. If you need me, come get me. Other than that, I'm not talking to nobody. I'm just fucking taking time for myself and hanging out and, just de-stress, and just forget about the fucking problems that I have going on for like a day. You're not going to, you didn't develop those problems in a day. You're not going to get rid of them in a day. So it doesn't fucking matter. Take time to fucking, clear your mind and reset.
Yeah.
Which is something I athletes are bad about because only the goals on the mind, the goals on the mind.
Right.
And so like you fucking burn yourself out. You can't burn the candle at both ends.
Yeah, for sure.
Agreed. Well, entrepreneur now.
Yeah.
What led you to going out on your own then?
So at a certain point, I felt like, at what point do I stop being the apprentice? You know what I mean? And then like also like no hard feelings or anything about it, but like Gracie Humida was going in a way that I really wasn't comfortable with. Mandatory uniforms, more self-defense style classes, things like that, which is awesome. You know, if that's what you want to do and that's what you like to do, cool. But like, I like training hard. And, you know, competition is still a very big part of my life, and I just wasn't getting that anymore. And I'm not a fan of, you know, mandatory. Everything has to be from us. Like, yeah, you have to have the gi, the rash guard, the shorts, and all that stuff. Which, I mean, if you want to do that and you're comfortable with that, that's cool. But to me, I'm not. And a big reason I'm not comfortable with that is
it's just a moneymaker at that point.
Yeah, yeah. And like, the way I grew up, you know, I grew up super poor, you know, and so like, you know, my martial arts was handed to me. You know, I didn't have to pay martial arts until I started doing jiu-jitsu. You know, even then, I used my college funds, my college grants to pay for that every year. That's how I started jiu-jitsu. And, you know, it's hard for me coming up the way I did to see that and see kids like me getting priced out of something that changed my life. And so we started kind of going that direction, which is fine. You know, I understand people got to make money, you know, like people have different goals than I do. But by means of how I grew up and not having access to funds like that all the time, I just assume I'm never going to have it. And so that's when the mentality of like, you know, you put your heart behind something, you put your passion behind something, and you do that every day, and you go after that in a sincere way, things are going to work out. You know, the money's going to come. You know, I might not have 4 cars, 5 cars, a couple of different houses, different places, but I'll be able to, you know, I'm pretty minimalist in my life. You know, I still get to travel the world and do jiu-jitsu all fucking day. What the fuck am I bitching about?
Right.
And so I didn't like that direction. And so, you know, I just thought, you know, at the end of the day, like, you know, I'm forever grateful to Brian for what Brian did for me and gave me the life that I have now. I would not have it without Brian. And we're still friends, love Brian, but it was just time for me to do my own thing and do it in the way that I thought that I could. Now, that doesn't fucking work out, egg on my face, but hopefully it will. But
you took a chance.
Yeah. And I'm, you know, and it was getting to the point where, due to my own, you know, like I felt like a weird guilt about feeling that way for like a year straight. And that guilt was weighing on me, and it was making me not like jiu-jitsu as much as I did. And I remember after the match with Colin, I was kind of sitting around, and I was like, man, like, I'm not having that much fucking fun doing this anymore. And if I'm not having fucking fun doing this more, what the fuck have I been doing my whole life? My whole life's down the fucking 35 years of doing this, and now I'm not having fun, and now it's not seeming like the thing for me. That's not acceptable. Something's got to change, you know. And I just, you know, called around to people and, you know, that I'm close with and got like their advice on it and stuff like that. And it just, you know, came to like, man, I think this is the best option for me, you know. And I think there might be a little bit of a hard feeling because Brian's in Jackson, I'm like 10 minutes down the road in Cape. So I think there's a little bit of hard feelings there, but it's my hometown, it's where my family is, my son's still in school.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is.
There, man.
Yeah, it is what it is. You know what I mean? And I think there's a weird like stigma in jiu-jitsu about leaving a team. You know, if you do it for the wrong reason, if you do anything for the wrong reasons, it's bad. But I think that demanding loyalty from people instead of earning it is bad. And
it's not really loyalty if you demand
it. Exactly. And so, you know, like I had a long conversation with Brian about me leaving, and we came to an agreement. He was like, yeah, man, it's good for you. You know, I like that you know, I think it's a good idea. And so, you know, it all happened.
Yeah, dude.
Now, are you able to be part of that team? Kind of like how Tag Team is up here. What team is Gracie Humida? They have their own. Yeah, so it's Gracie Humida, and so like it's a little frictiony, you know, because like anytime that happens, there's going to be crossover, stuff like that. So some people come train with me every once in a while, which is cool. Like, I'm never going to tell anybody like they can or can't come train with me, or they can and can't go train somewhere else. You know, what you do outside of the 4 doors of my gym is none of my fucking business.
I don't give a fuck unless you like it's something crazy and okay, you can't come here. And so there's some crossover training and stuff like that. And I'm still close with like a lot of people on the team and stuff like that, like Brian, Sean Woods is somebody I talk to quite frequently, Dave Vincent, and guys like that. So it's no hard feelings, but I kind of like after I left, I went to a couple open mats and I just decided, let the separation happen for a little bit to kind of let things like any would be ill feelings, let that shit calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Well, Coty, is there anything else before we get you out of here?
No, man.
We haven't talked about yet?
No, I appreciate it, man.
thanks for coming on, man.
This has
Thanks
been
for
a lot of
having
fun,
me.
man.
It's been a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. I think it's been a
Sweet.
great conversation. Really
Yeah,
enjoyed
I
it.
think so too, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thanks for the fucking sweet drink.
Yeah, of course.
brother.
Yeah. Check them out, man. They're good.
We're big
hey.
fans.
Hey, Tonic.
Yeah.
Chris Williamson. Come on.
Yeah. Sorry I had to
Some.
schedule it at a weird time.
No, you're fine. No,
dude,
that's
it's
a
all
great-
good.
It's a great
Worked
thing
out just
about
fine.
and great thing about us having our own studio now is we can do it whenever we want.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's been nice. Yeah.
We did this out of my house for the first year.
Yeah, that's
and
what he was telling me.
It was, it was fine, but it was just it was a little much for my wife.
Yeah.
I don't like people. I get her, man. I don't like people in my house either.
Yeah, I got 2 kids, a dog. It's just like it's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, it's like our man cave here. Like
Yeah.
I mean, we work out of here. We're here pretty much every day.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a cool spot. We've made it our own, got our own art up here and all that stuff.
Yeah, you gave me the tour earlier. The building's
Yeah. Oh,
fucking
cool,
sweet.
right?
That's
dude.
awesome,
Yeah.
man.
Fucking
yeah, I
cool.
started teaching. Well, we need to get back to
Yeah,
it, but
we
started teaching some jujitsu up
Hell
there.
yeah.
I
That's
got some little mats. I was teaching. We had like a little 4 or 5
I
person
saw, I
class.
saw them rolled up.
Yeah, Well, I actually got some more I need to go pick up from my buddy. But we always end the show the same way. So before we get you out of here,
Play a little game. It's called the Tombstone Game.
Tombstone game. Okay.
Yeah. Your last Coty. What does it say on your tombstone?
Same thing it says on the back of my competition gi.
Okay. What's that?
Live fast, eat ass.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you guys all for tuning into the show. If you haven't clicked that subscribe button for us yet, please do so. That would help us out a ton. Pat and I are trying to get to 500 subscribers on YouTube before the end of 2025. So if you got anything out of this show, hit that subscribe button, share it with a friend, hit that like button, comment what you thought below, and we'll see you next time.